Joins us live again on the set tonight with a special investigative report. And Tam, you've been working on this report now for about 1 year, the inspection investigation. Tell us what you found.
As you said, Jerry Donnell used to be an inspector for the city of Cedar Rapids, and he says that he found a number of furnaces in older homes which were not inspected according to the city's own policies and procedures. Okay. But tonight we do have the city's side to the story and why officials say they believe people are safe.
Former city inspector Jerry Donnell raised questions about furnace inspections and record keeping on inspections in Cedar Rapids. He says he found many furnaces which did not have inspection tags on them. The tags prove they were inspected. He also says he could not find records of inspections in the building department where he worked.
It comes down to safety for the citizens' own well-being.
We took questions about inspections here to the city building department. This is where they keep all the records. Managers say they believe people are safe.
I guess I would say that the large amount of permits that we issue in a year, and we're looking at a select...
We are having technical problems with that tape. We will get to the correct story in just a moment. So
we certainly want to see it in its entirety.
Exactly, and we will get to that. We will get to that.
One thing that I know we were going to talk about as we're seeing if we can get that tape ready is the tags that are on furnaces. I know that's an issue. When a furnace is inspected, does it need to have a tag? What did you find out about that?
Yes, as a matter of fact, a mechanical permit that is on the city's website says that work that is not tagged with an approval shall be considered unapproved.
So in other words, after the permit is issued, then they have an inspection, a final inspection that must be registered then through the city code. If it's not, then it's a violation of city code, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And another thing, you talked with Mr. Donnell about this, but a lot of the information that he provided you, and you've been working on this for a year now, you also took that a step further. This wasn't just him coming to you with information, you reporting it. We found more out than he originally told us about.
We did our own survey, and we have that tape now, and so let's let that tape roll, and the tape will tell the story.
Okay.
Former city inspector Jerry Donnell raised questions about furnace inspections and record keeping on inspections in Cedar Rapids. He says he found many furnaces which did not have inspection tags on them. The tags prove they were inspected. He also says he could not always find records of inspections in the building department where he worked.
It comes down to safety for the citizens' own well-being.
We took questions about inspections here to the city building department. This is where they keep all the records. Managers say they believe people are safe.
I guess I would say that the large amount of permits that we issue in a year, and we're looking at a select handful here, I would say that really probably isn't real accurate without going through and checking each record.
Can you see if this tag is on either your furnace or your electrical breaker box?
Okay, sure.
In an informal survey, we found more than half of 52 homes and businesses we checked did not have inspection tags on their furnaces. 5 of them, though, did. These stacks of records show Cedar Rapids has issued thousands of permits for mechanical replacements over the years. Engel says she believes the department does do a good job of keeping up with inspections.
I think compared to the large number of permits that we issue, I think we have a handful of properties here. So I don't know how big of a problem you're saying it is.
Are the citizens safe if they haven't had their furnaces inspected?
I'll go back to the same answer I gave you earlier, is that you have licensed contractors out there.
Trying to build some house.
Contractor Mark Morgan with Foster's Plumbing and Heating agrees with that. He says Cedar Rapids has some of the most stringent licensing rules for heating contractors in the state.
I feel their people are safe because I have a tremendous amount of trust in our company and our colleagues to do a good job.
Mayor Paul Pate's Chief of Staff, Doug Wagner, says if there is an issue with inspections, it's more about record keeping. This confidential city memo obtained by Iowa's News Channel shows the city human resources director raised questions last year about record keeping in the building department. The memo was dated October 3rd, 2003, and is to the city auditor. The person who wrote the memo, the Human Resources Director David Winnie, wrote, quote, "I am in the process of investigating issues involving building, housing, and zoning department mechanical inspections area." Winnie also wrote, there are possible problems in mechanical inspections process and procedures that show inefficiency to incompleteness of notes, updates not annotated in a timely or accurate manner in their computer tracking system, and possibly 4,000 to 5,000 final out inspections never completed or accounted for. Bottom line, Winnie questioned the accuracy of the building department's record keeping. In the memo, Winnie asked for an audit of the inspection process and of the record keeping.
We're now in the process of constantly reviewing our process to make sure it's responsive, it's effective, and it's efficient.
The audit report on the department's record keeping recommended written procedures for issuing permits and keeping track of whether the jobs have been inspected. But the former auditor, Bob McMahon, wrote, quote, "We did not review the adequacy and appropriateness of inspections nor their timeliness." Bottom line, he did not address the question if inspections were being done adequately or in a timely way. McMahon says he also never tried to prove whether thousands of furnaces had not been inspected. The mayor's chief of staff says the department is trying to do a better job of keeping track of inspections.
And the new software we have allows us to use a tickler file, if you will, a calendar that says if you haven't heard from them by this date, then you need to get in contact with them. And that's why you have a new process, is to be more responsive.
Wagner says mechanical permits clearly indicate it's the contractor's responsibility to call for an inspection. Contractor Mark Morgan agrees the city cannot inspect something it may not know about. He also says it's tough at times for inspectors and contractors to meet up because of busy schedules.
That can be a cumbersome thing. It's not that the building department wouldn't do it, but if they don't know that the job is going to conclude at a given time and they need to be there when it's time to look at that job, they don't know. I feel that the city is doing their job inspecting projects that they know about in a timely fashion.
As for the tags, Morgan says he's seen times when an inspector did an inspection but did not put a tag on the furnace. Still, former city inspector Jerry Donnell says he wants the public to be aware.
Do you have an axe to grind with the city? I mean, it could appear that way.
No, my axe to grind is public safety.
Doug Wagner says the city finished putting in new computer software in the building department 3 years ago, so the department was making record-keeping improvements before the audit and before Donnell raised concerns. The city fired Donnell November 22nd, 2003. The city attorney says he cannot comment why Donnell was fired because it's a personnel matter. Donnell had an arbitration hearing earlier this year and lost. Doug Wagner, the mayor's chief of staff, says Mayor Paul Pate has no comment on the furnace inspections or the record keeping, and the mayor himself did not return my phone calls. Wagner also says that the city is making it easier, conducting ways to make it easier for contractors to contact them now for inspections.
And it's in the city's best interest, too, to make sure that these final inspections actually take place, to make sure all the work has been done properly. You have to have confidence in your contractor, but those final inspections by city code have to be performed, don't they?
Yes, they do.
All right, thanks very much, Tami.
You're welcome.
Tami. Thank
You're welcome.
you very much.